Have you ever stood under a night sky and wondered, where does space end? If the universe is expanding, what's it expanding into? Does it have an edge, a boundary, a wall? And if so, what's on the other side? This question might sound simple, but it takes us to the very edge of physics, time, and imagination. Today, we're diving deep into one of the universe's strangest riddles. Why doesn't the universe have an edge, and what could possibly lie beyond? To begin, let's look at how we usually think about space. When we picture a place, we think of something with sides, borders, or limits. A room has walls, a planet has an atmosphere, even a galaxy has a center and outer arms. So when we say the universe, our minds want to give it a shape. Maybe like a giant sphere floating in blackness, or a bubble of stars growing inside something larger. But here's the mind-bender. The universe doesn't have an edge. Not in the way we think of edges. It's not sitting inside a bigger container. It's not surrounded by nothing. Space itself is everything, and it's expanding within itself. So what does it even mean for the universe to expand? Think of space not as something objects move through, but as something that stretches. Imagine blowing up a balloon. Draw dots on its surface. As the balloon expands, the dots move farther apart. But from the perspective of one dot, there's no center and no edge, just more and more space. That's similar to how the expansion of the universe works. Everything is moving away from everything else, but not because it's flying through space. Space itself is growing. Now here's where things get weird. If space is expanding, you might assume it's expanding into something, like the balloon into air, but that's not how the universe works. There's no outside of the universe, at least not in the way we understand space. Why? Because space and time themselves were created in the Big Bang. That moment didn't just explode into existing space, it created space as it expanded. There's no edge, there's no boundary, there's no place you can point to and say, that's where the universe ends. So what about the shape of the universe? This is where things get even more abstract. There are three possibilities based on Einstein's general relativity: closed universe, like the surface of a sphere, no edges but finite; open universe, like a saddle, infinite and ever-expanding; flat universe, infinite and perfectly balanced, like a flat sheet stretching forever. Current data, including observations from the cosmic microwave background, suggest the universe is flat and may go on infinitely. But here's the twist: even if it's infinite, it still doesn't have an edge. It just keeps going. Now let's talk about the observable universe. This is the part of the cosmos we can actually see, roughly 93 billion light-years across. But it's not the whole universe. It's just the part where light has had time to reach us since the Big Bang. There could be much, much more beyond that. Maybe even an infinite amount. So when people ask, what's at the edge of the universe, the answer is, the edge of what we can observe, not the edge of existence itself. Beyond that, we don't know. It could be more stars. It could be nothing. It could even be an entirely different structure of space-time. Now here's a crazy possibility. What if the universe is finite, but still has no edge? This can happen in curved space. Think of the surface of the Earth. It's finite. You can travel around it forever, but there's no edge you can fall off. The universe might be like that, a 3D version of a curved surface. You could travel in a straight line forever and eventually end up where you started, without ever hitting a wall. That's how space can be finite, but unbounded. And now, the big question: what lies beyond the universe? Here's the honest answer: we don't know. Maybe nothing. Maybe something. Maybe beyond the universe is a meaningless concept, like asking what's north of the North Pole. There are speculative ideas, though. Some physicists believe in a multiverse, a vast realm of other universes with different laws of physics. Others think our universe is part of a higher dimensional structure, like a brain floating in a higher space, but none of this is proven. Right now it's mathematical theory, not observation. So where does that leave us? We live in a universe that seems to have no edge, no center, and possibly no end. A universe where space is expanding but not into anything. A universe where even the most basic questions, where does it end? What's outside? Stretch the limits of human understanding, but maybe that's what makes it so beautiful. Every time we ask, what lies beyond, we're not just learning about the cosmos, we're learning about ourselves. If this video shifted your perception, subscribe to Space Explored. We're answering the universe's biggest questions, one mystery at a time. Leave a comment below. Do you think the universe is infinite, or is there something beyond it? We'll see you next time, right at the edge of what we know.